Nailed it.
So, hey, I'm Bob.
I'm Jake.
We are
Nailed It, the podcast.
We have our special guest host, Jameson, on the couch today. He won't be making much noise except for a squeaky chicken toy, but hopefully he's torn enough holes in that it won't make a difference.
How many holes do you need to put into this chicken for it to just shut up?
He's pretty much there. He is a terrorizer. So what's been up, man?
I don't know if I can say quite a bit, but it's been quite a while since we've gotten together last.
Yeah, it's been a solid month.
We've made at least one attempt to record and wound up getting distracted.
Yes, yeah, that didn't happen. In fact, we were going to do, after our last episode with Dave, we were going to do a Deadpool Wolverine review.
Yeah.
We've gone so long now that movie's now out to rent at home available. As of today's recording. Yeah. So we definitely got behind the 8 ball on that. No big deal.
Oh, that reminds me. Did we miss a September episode, or was Dave's episode September?
Dave was 2.
Dave was 2? I know we did 2 episodes with Dave.
Yeah,
I couldn't remember.
Dave. Dave was 8 and 9. So this is episode 10.
Episode 10.
Episode 10 of this year. Yes. Season 2, episode 10. Here we are trying to keep our promises and do one a month at least.
Sweet.
Yeah. So, I don't think anything too different going on lately.
We've done quite a few Ghostlight gigs
Yep.
since last recording.
Right. Yeah. You are fully entrenched now.
Yep. I'm trying to think. We've done quite a few Perryville shows. Where else were we recently?
We just played Spring Gulch, New Holland last weekend.
That was a fun gig.
That's a fun place. That was your first time there. Light camping crowd, but September in campgrounds generally is. We are, generally there in the early summer or Halloween. That's what they've done the last 2 years.
Yeah.
This is just when it worked out for us. I know we are already slated to go back there next May.
Oh, sweet.
Right before the holiday weekend.
Yeah.
So people will be back at the campground. It'll be a much different. We'll be playing outside unless it's raining. It'll be a much different experience. But
yeah.
Cool place. So they're very nice to us. So
yeah, it was a very cool place to play.
Yep. Cool campground.
That's only the second campground I've ever played at, aside from the Haven, but
it's technically my third because we played another place earlier in the year before you joined the band because they double booked at Spring Gulch.
Oh.
But that's owned by like a conglomerate.
Okay.
That owns a bunch of campgrounds.
Yeah.
And they just had to shift up to the campground right outside the Turnpike in Lebanon and by the Ren Fair.
Oh, okay.
That's one of theirs. So we just played up there, and that was also a good time. Completely different place, much older campground, but still the same vibe, nice people. We had a good time. So
yeah.
In general, we don't have bad times at campgrounds.
Nah, campgrounds I feel like are such a not niche place for bands like us to play at, but it's such a good place for bands like us to play.
It's a well accepted place for bands. They because places like that are a destination. You're going to a club or buying a ticket because you're going to see the band, but when you're at the campground and they bring a band to you, it's a completely different situation for people. So,
oh my god, yeah.
So it's pretty nice, pretty cool.
I'm trying to think. Other than the many Ghostlight gigs we've done in since our last recording, have we really done a whole lot other than?
No, you released some music, didn't you? Since then,
did I?
My timetable's all over the place.
I'm trying to think. Did Endgame come out?
Endgame might have come out after our last recording.
Okay.
Shouldn't you know when your own music came out?
I probably should. I don't, but I probably should.
Just asking for a friend.
I've definitely recorded a lot more since our last recording. That that great song that I've sent you that I know you love so much.
Are we speaking of the AC/DC-esque?
Yeah, song? Crank it up.
Folks, when Jake gets around to letting people hear this, and I don't know that you really have publicly, have you?
No, I've sent it to a few people just to kind of get feelers out. It's not fully done yet because I'm having a guest bassist on it.
Oh,
that he's currently recording his bass track, and once he's happy with it, he's gonna shoot it to me, and it'll go into the mix in. But that's the only reason it's not out yet.
I, of course, am not a fan of AC/DC, as we've discussed ad nauseum, not only in the real world, but on the podcast. But you definitely hit the AC/DC formula, vocals and all. So when people hear it, they'll get it. It's a good track. It's just, it's AC/DC formula. It's not my thing. But,
I very much did think, though, like as soon as I finished it, I was like, I need to send this to you for the sole purpose of I know it's
Yeah.
not what you
Well, if I
listen
was
to.
looking for any kind of negative review to see if it was good, send it to this guy. You also did a vocal cover that I refuse to listen to.
I forgot about that.
Because it's very disrespectful to me and my brand. Now, you did a Breaking Benjamin cover. I don't know if you did anything. You've not sent me anything else since, I don't believe.
I don't think so. It's because, between work and Ghostlight gigs, haven't really had a whole lot of time other than recording that one song and the cover. Now, coming up, you and I are both having separate project shows coming up.
Right. I have the weekend following, October 5th, headed down to Wilmington, Delaware to play with Next to Nothing, the Breaking Benjamin tribute, our only show of the year. Some other cool bands. There's a band called Wait and Bleed doing Slipknot, Around the Fur doing Deftones, Mud Shovel doing Stained, Realign doing Godsmack. So it's a pretty interesting day of music.
Realign, is that the band we saw?
That's the band we played with, that I played with when you saw the Next to Nothing the first time at Love Drafts last fall.
Yes.
Yeah, that was the Godsmack band that sounded just like
Oh,
them.
they were fantastic.
Yeah, so I'm not familiar with Wait and Bleed. The guys from Mud Shovel, I know a couple of them.
I was say, they're local, aren't they?
No, they're all out of like the Philly area.
Oh, okay.
But our good friend and bandmate Dave Z was fronting them for like 2 shows, but it was a little too much. I believe it was a little too much commute for him.
That's fair.
And they realized that, so they kind of went on. I don't know the Deftones guys. I don't know the band, but I know Deftones.
I was say, you don't know Deftones,
but I don't know of these guys at all. So I don't know anything about After Saturday, I guess.
Huh. That's a cool gig. I had seen the flyer for that, and I thought that's a pretty good show, not just for you guys, but as a whole. That seems like that's gonna be a fun night.
Well, and they call it the New Metal Values Tour. It's gonna stage with the guys. I'm not sure exactly when we go on. We're middle of the pack.
Okay.
But it'll be a good time. You've got a Lisdexia show coming up soon too, yes?
Yep, not this coming Saturday, but the following
12th.
I think.
Yeah.
I think it's the 12th.
Yeah, it's the 12th.
It's Lisdexia, Burn the Martyr, and I'm horrible with it because I can never remember the third band and I feel so bad. But it's at Jen's.
Oh yeah.
I've never been to this venue. I've heard about this venue.
I played there once earlier in the year. We did Fell From Zero did a opener for Gunmetal Gray there to get our kind of foot in the door. Hopefully we're going to pick up a show or 2 next year there.
Okay.
It's a smaller venue.
That's what I've heard.
Kind of a straight front to back room, bars in the middle. There's a deck beyond that, or a patio, whatever you want to call it. They like music there.
Yeah.
And they give it its due, even though it's a smaller place. So I think you'll have a good time there.
I've heard about this. I've heard about it being a smaller venue, which gives me slight concern for the fact that we're a 6-piece.
It's a wide space. You'll be okay.
All right.
One of those, they push the pool table over to the side, and that's like the side barrier for the band. And
gotcha.
It's not. You'll be on top of each other, but getting like a Love Draft size stage or HMAC or something like that.
Yeah.
It's a small bar room stage. It's a floor stage too.
Okay.
So you guys will be fine. I'm sure you'll be all right there. You'll be able to get it in.
Yeah. That I'm pretty stoked about that. I get excited for the Lisdexia gigs. 1, because we don't get to have them very often.
Right.
1, because of scheduling, and 2, it's just trying to find the correct crowd or venue or gig that we would fit in, because of us being that like synth metal prog, but still kind of have that metalcore feel to it. There's definitely bands that we would fit in. It's just a matter of, setting it up and getting it going. I did
the Fell From Zero 10th anniversary show at Love Drafts last weekend with Gunmetal Gray. Really great turnout. I was really happy. We had a lot of people there. I would say there was probably 60 plus people standing in front of us at all times as we got going. And there was a double that in the room, but we had a great time. We could have played a little better. We had some, full transparency. We had some mistakes. I literally forgot the words to a song I wrote.
Oh, really?
We haven't played it in 5 years, and not even listening to it. I just blanked out. So honestly, I made stuff up on the fly while I got to the course. But we just had some stumbles. We had some hearing issues with our in-ears and the sound guy, and very nice dude, but he wasn't getting it done for us. But for the most part, the crowd seemed to disregard it and get through it and have a good time. But
Yeah.
Gunmetal Gray sounded as good as they always do.
Right.
He had them too loud.
Ah.
He suddenly went with like the headlining band thing for a split show and just cranked them up. So they were insanely loud.
Yeah.
But overall, it was a good time. It was a good turnout. A lot of people came out. It's also people I haven't seen in years. But, you know, when you're in a band for 10 years, sometimes people don't come out all the time anymore. So,
Right.
and the fact that Fell From Zero doesn't get to play that much, it was nice to be able to go celebrate that with people and just cut loose a little bit. No guitar around me, just yelling into a microphone. So we had a good time.
Yeah.
And we've got a show coming up. Obviously, for a band that doesn't play much, we've actually got 2 more shows this year. We got one coming up in a couple of weeks at Trigger's Tap Room.
Where's that at?
Waynesboro, I believe.
Waynesboro. Okay.
So west, you know, going west.
Yeah.
Out past Ship and whatnot. We seem to get a lot of gigs over in that like part of PA, and then just south of that, of course, is the Hagerstown area and stuff.
Yeah.
We get booked a lot of that stuff. That's where a lot of our gigs come from these last couple of years, because there's not a whole lot at home to play. I mean, that was our first time we've ever played at Love Drafts.
Yeah.
Years they've been doing shows. So, and hopefully we can get back there sometime next year. You know, of course, we got Ghost Light shows nonstop. Halloween's coming.
Yep.
We got a nonstop schedule of shows right up through like the beginning of November. We pretty much have something every weekend.
Yeah. I just looked at that calendar yesterday or the day before, and it made me realize, like, oh, we really do have like 1 to 2 gigs every weekend through or into November.
Yep. Yeah. Between Ghostlight and us, you and I both having personal, not only solo gigs, but other band stuff coming up. So
yeah,
we definitely got some stuff coming. We keep busy though. Lots going on.
But we still make time for our adoring fans.
Right. Yes. The podcast must go on.
Absolutely. So with today's episode, I know we were discussing it right before we started recording. I wanted to bring up the topic of, I guess you'd call it controversy, or, you know, people that's been in the headlines with Linkin Park. We have been introduced to a new vocalist.
Yep.
And I feel so bad. I forget her name. I keep calling her Emma Roberts, but I know that's wrong.
Emily. I'm blanking out now because you put me on the spot. It's Emily something.
Is it Emily?
Yes, it's Emily. Damn it. It'll come to me like 10 minutes after we're done recording. But yeah, her name is Emily. I can't remember her last name.
Of the band Dead Sarah.
Dead Sarah, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and look her up on my mobile telephone. My cellular telephone.
Yeah, I was very not surprised that they went with a female lead, because I knew that was in the rumors that had been going around for Emily Armstrong. That's what. Okay, yeah. And so I had been seeing things on, you know, TikTok and on social media about a new female singer, and I had seen, you know, different people that the fans were thinking it was going to be, like Bonnie from Stan Atlantic.
Which honestly, if they were going for a specifically almost Chester sound,
yeah,
she was their one. But I don't think that's essentially what they were going for. But we'll get to that.
Right. And yeah, I feel the same way. I was hoping it was going to be Bonnie because, like you said, she did have that Chester-esh.
You also have some like connections at work to that band.
A little bit.
You were doing a little. You were making an educated wish. It's fun.
Yeah, I was making an educated wish. And I was seeing, there was somebody else that I had seen online that they were sharing, and none of the rumors or options that people were thinking it was going to be wound up being Emily Armstrong.
Right. Yeah. No, I don't think anybody even had, like, she wasn't in the radar for most people.
So. Right. And to be completely honest, when I read that it was Emily Armstrong, I didn't know who that was until I looked it up and realized that she was from Dead Sarah. which
I'm not overly familiar with their stuff either.
I know one song, and that's because Hot and Dangerous plays it.
Well, now she's going to be world famous.
Yeah.
So she already is.
I was stoked to hear about, new Linkin Park, female singer, awesome. Then they released that song, The Emptiness Machine. And I dig it. I thought it was great. I thought it was great for being new Linkin Park.
Agreed.
But then is he frozen?
That's what he does.
But I was seeing live footage then when they did their debut show with Emily.
Yeah. Yep.
And this is where my opinion started to form on her as the leading frontman for Linkin Park. And she does the new stuff great. The new material, fantastic. It sounds like Linkin Park, but moving forward. But I then started hearing them do the older stuff, hearing them do Crawling,
Right.
In the End, Faint, Somewhere I Belong. And to me, she doesn't do it justice to Linkin Park, if that makes sense.
No, I actually it's a valid. I think it's a valid argument on a couple fronts, but I felt the same thing at first. One thing I will point out, and I think a lot of people online have pointed out, and it's been dissected 100 million times now. I had not performed in front of a crowd with that band ever.
Right.
And I don't know how long she was working on the stuff, but everybody's talking about how she seemed out of breath and she was, not controlling herself well, but they don't understand because they see her live and she knows she was probably nervous. Because believe it or not, people get nervous.
Yeah.
She literally stepped in the shoes of one of the greatest vocalists of all time.
Oh, absolutely.
Regardless of genre. And you expect her to be spot on because people are dicks and think that everything has to be their way.
Right.
Because I'm sitting on my couch, that should be perfect. I didn't bump into that at all. I did bump into her doing the old stuff. They were changing keys.
Yeah.
There's one song, I forget what song, I'm pretty sure they were like 5 steps.
I think it was In the End.
To get her there. And there's 100 arguments about why this shouldn't be Linkin Park anymore. But every one of those is squashed by the fact that it's not our choice, it's theirs.
Right.
Linkin Park is a business. There's the argument of, well, it's only 3 of the original members up there. Right. Again, the drummer decided to quit playing music and has openly given his blessing on whatever they do.
Right.
The guitar player recorded the songs but said, I'm not touring with them. Have fun.
Yeah.
So, in essence, the only one that wasn't there to say okay was Chester.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons. And there's just so many outside things that are going to make this rough. I don't really care much for the arguments about her, who she was friends with and isn't anymore.
Yeah, I don't look in.
Growing up in Scientology, yes, I agree with just about everyone except Scientology. Scientology is whack. There's something very wrong with the way they do things. But I don't hear her once talking about it.
Yeah.
I don't hear her trying to bring people over to the dark side. She's not putting it into anything with Linkin Park, which may be partly something they asked her not to do.
Right.
I think that should affect anything. People are using whatever. I'm so tired of people using someone's personal life as a reason to say they're not good at something.
Right.
That being said, I am a little bit on the fence with you about how maybe this should have been one of those projects where this should have been a 3 Days Grace scenario.
Yes.
They brought in a singer who was not the original singer, even though the other 3 guys were the members of the band that helped write the songs. And he left, so they brought in another guy. It doesn't sound like them. It never will sound like them. Had they changed their name to something else, I'm pretty sure my opinion would be completely different.
Right.
I might not be so against what they do, or I don't even give it a chance. And there's people like, oh, it's still pretty good. Recording, I can sit right here in this room and make the best recording ever, and then give it out to someone and go, you like this is awesome, and then go perform it and not be able to do it because I was using studio tricks.
Right.
That is the singer of that band.
Right.
I think they may have shown a little bit that maybe that's what's going to happen with her. She may be a better studio vocalist a little bit than she is live with that material yet. they've been doing shows now since that initial, debut.
Yeah.
And I've seen a couple videos, and each they're better than they were that show. She's figuring it out. Now, it still doesn't sit well with me about the key changes. Maybe a half step here or there or something, because Chester was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
But like to change, go up and down 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Like, just so you can make the song work. Maybe that's something they'll readjust when she gets more comfortable with the material. Maybe she can find the songs.
Yeah.
But I also thought that first show, maybe that was part of the reason she was having trouble keeping up with them.
Yeah.
Not because they changed the keys to get her voice there, but she wasn't prepared to do that in that key regardless. I don't know. I mean, you think about those songs, they're, platinum records and super well known. I wouldn't want to go up there and try and sing it in my voice just to make everybody comfortable.
Right.
My head would be telling me to try and sing it like Chester.
Yeah.
And I'm sure she's actively not trying to do that. But I do believe it maybe it's not. Look, it's not the Linkin Park we wanted because Chester's not here.
Right.
But it's the Linkin Park we have. I'm a big fan of Mike Shinoda.
Oh, yeah.
I like his solo stuff. I think he's a fantastic writer. Because as we've talked before, I'm really into clever, like quick lyrics, and he's very good at that. And that's the rapper in him. I'm not as sold on his singing quite yet, but I understand that he wants to get to a place, and he should be able to do whatever he wants.
Right.
He's put in, any of those guys that are left in Linkin Park have put in the time, and they lost a friend and sat on it for all these years. Like, they can do whatever they want to see if it works.
Right.
They have my support that far. I will listen to the album. Well, I'm a Spotify guy. I stream everything.
Yeah.
Will I buy the album? Maybe.
Yeah.
But I'm going to listen to it before I'm sure I buy it.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm just like we've talked about with like the BEARTOOTH stuff, and I still buy the CDs. I enjoy that. I have an old enough vehicle I can still listen to the quality of a CD. But I don't know that the new Linkin Park albums are going to be rushing to the store or hitting Amazon and have shipped to my house. You know
right.
What I mean? Unless I find that it's just that impressive that I need to.
Yeah.
Which brings up their newest song.
Yeah.
Which we both have some thoughts. Now, I've only heard the song twice maybe.
I think I
might have
listened to it
back
maybe
to back.
2 or 3 times.
You were the one that really brought it up because that song I think is what fired up this thought of this conversation.
Yeah.
So go ahead, go for it.
And this shows you how much I actually paid attention to the song. I don't remember the name of the new song. Oh, now let me pull out my
with a chaos or king or something.
Chaos or a king. I'll tell you in half a second. Heavy is the crown.
Heavy is the crown. See, it had something to do with a king.
So, new song, Heavy is the Crown. First thought of this song is that they tried to write another Given Up or like another Faint.
It has that feel for sure. It definitely starts out, it sounds like an old Linkin Park song.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate.
And I appreciate them sticking to the tone of old Linkin Park.
Right.
However, there are so many parts of this new song that just sound like they ripped off one of their other songs.
Well, that's a slippery slope.
It is.
I mean, because I can think of at least one band right off the top of my head. These guys right here, that have quite a few songs and riffs and melodies that are essentially the same thing for 6 albums.
Right.
So, but I see what you're saying.
And my thing is with that, again, like with, Breaking Ben, yes, they do have some songs that sound very, very, very similar. Their sound. With Linkin Park, from what I've been, hearing and seeing is, with Emily joining the band, this is a new direction for them and them moving forward in the band, where they release Heavy as a Crown and it sounds like they're just trying to remake what everyone loves, but with a new singer, if that makes sense. Like, it doesn't seem like they're trying to move forward like they were initially putting on with releasing, Emptiness Machine and doing these shows with Emily.
Well, and I would say, I mean, I see a valid point you're making, but we've heard 2 songs off an entire album.
True.
I think it's a little early to be casting that kind of judgment quite yet.
Oh yeah, like I don't get me wrong. When
they've given us two different dips in the gene pool there.
Yeah.
Like one is this new direction. One, as you said, sounds a lot like all the stuff they already did with someone else.
Yeah.
So I guess it comes down to what the whole album as a whole comes out as. But it does leave some questions.
Yeah.
But maybe that's just what they wanted.
Yeah.
Mike Shinoda's a pretty good businessman.
Oh yeah. 100%.
I think he's pretty shrewd about that. I don't think he would release something that he didn't believe in.
Right.
If they released something they didn't believe in, or we're worried about what people think, we would never got that whole album with all the poppy stuff. The last album Chester did.
Oh, the one that has
heavy on it.
Heavy, yeah.
Like none of that stuff would have made it out under Linkin Park if they weren't disconcerted with what people's real opinions were. So to me, let's wait and see proposition.
Right.
It doesn't fill me with like anxiety, or not anxiety. That's the wrong word. Because anxiety has a negative connotation now, even though it just used to mean you're anxious. It doesn't make me like pumped up, like, oh man, I can't wait. It's not making any build up for me hoping this album's going to be the best thing they've done ever.
Right.
Because of the disparity it's just too much difference between the two.
Yeah.
But it does make me curious. So maybe it's doing its job either way.
Yeah. I'm very curious. Like, don't get me wrong. I love Emptying This Machine. It's in my on repeat playlist on Spotify. I have my feelings towards Heavy as the Crown, but I'm not going to fully, badmouth the art entirely, because I want to keep an open mind towards the new stuff.
Right.
And like you said, it could be like almost that like anxious, like I'm not in a bad sense, but I am anxious to see what the future holds musically for them.
You're not gonna be able to squeak the duck. This is a live recording, buddy.
Squeak the duck. That's the next hashtag for this episode.
Well,
hashtag squeak the duck.
Buddy, you got to take that somewhere else.
Take it outside.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, the sounds of Jameson and his squeaky duck. Buddy, you can't. Hey.
Don't touch my duck.
We'll just have to deal with the squeaking, folks. Hazards of having a dog and no one else to watch him.
But look how cute he is.
He is. He's handsome.
He's a handsome dude.
Try to make every noise you can out of that thing. Cool. No, I mean, but back to it. I think that we're going to have to find out. It's going to go on. I threw it back to myself. Come on, buddy. You're really messing with this recording.
You had a whole open door to throw it
and
out.
I managed to hit both the door jams, the door, and come back to me. Yeah. I mean, that's, I guess, what music's supposed to do. It's supposed to make us want to think about it, if it's something we like or don't like. So I'm not against it. I'm not hating on it. We'll see what happens in November.
But what's that duck make you want to do?
For it.
Thank God that toilet seat was down.
He'll just, I threw it at the door. You threw it at the toilet. This is a weird recording, everyone. I'm not cutting any of this.
It's going off the rails.
I just think we have to give it a chance.
Yeah.
The more live shows they do, the better she's going to get. All the controversy around people involved. I'm honestly so tired of hearing about Chester's son complaining.
Yeah.
And then at the same breath, his own mother's like, no, I think this is great.
Yeah.
Stop being a little bitch. You're not your dad. If you were, you'd be doing it instead of her.
Exactly.
Sorry, I don't mean to talk bad about somebody who lost their father, but it's every bit their right to do what they want with it.
Yeah.
You don't have, just because your dad was Chester Bennington doesn't mean you have any say in what they do with it.
I was going to say, I see it as being more of the band's right to do whatever they want than his.
Right. Exactly.
And exactly what you were saying. Like, just because his dad was Chester Bennington does not mean he gets more of a say than what every other member in that band did with Chester Bennington.
Right. And that's what I think he seems to be forgetting.
Yeah.
So, well, we'll see.
I will say one thing I wish we could have gotten more out of from Chester was the side project he was doing with Mark Morton.
Yep.
from Lamb of God, because they released that song.
Got in the title.
Yeah, Cross Out. It's called Cross Out.
Yep.
That song was so good, and I'm so glad that we got to hear it. But I'm so bummed that that's the only thing we've heard.
My understanding, I thought I'd read somewhere there is some recordings, but they were like all scratch stuff.
Yeah,
And
like it was never fully done,
and it wasn't anything they wanted to release. But
Yeah.
eventually, that nothing stays buried, and it'll show up in our feeds one day. But
yeah,
it would have been nice if that could have been a finished album.
because not like my love for Lamb of God,
Right.
and Mark Morton is such a good musician as a whole, and I don't remember if it's like a Audio Slave kind of thing where it was members of Lamb of God aside from Mark Morton.
I don't know. I never really looked into it.
But
I know he's moved on. He's actually working on something else these days, I heard. So.
Yeah. But song is just so freaking good. And it was a different, I can't even say a different side of Chester that we got out of that.
Right.
But because it definitely, it sounded like Chester. It had the feel of Chester, but it had that heaviness of Lamb of God, which was just so good, and was very happy to have gotten that.
Right. I agree. And I also said, I had said online when all this was going down that the people that are complaining that she doesn't sound like Chester or she can't sing his songs clearly never tried to.
Right.
As someone who has sung multiple songs by Linkin Park and done both parts,
yeah,
it ain't easy.
Yeah,
and it only got harder as Chester went on. So before you go complaining about how somebody can't do something, maybe you should try it yourself. But that's the age of the internet.
And I agree in the same way, because as somebody that does a Linkin Park song with Lisdexia, now granted, Dave and I split the workload there vocally, where he's doing Shinoda's part, and actually Dave and I are both splitting Chester's parts in that as well, just because it helps both of us vocally. It's insanely difficult to do it justice, or even do it right at that.
Even try to do it right.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it is fun. It's definitely fun to do some Linkin Park stuff. We've been doing Faint in our set list, and you've said, I haven't seen him do it before, but you've said about Dave doing Giving Up.
Oh my goodness, Dave used to do Giving Up like nobody's business, man. I've tried Giving Up, that 13-second scream, 31-second scream it is. Even splitting it with Jake on vocals and Fell From Zero, we just could not get it down. But I've done several of their songs over the years. I mean, especially their old stuff. We still do Points of Authority whenever Fell From Zero plays. Yeah, we played One Step Closer for years. I did that in a couple bands over the years. I've tried Giving Up. We tried for the 100th time, hand grenade pins.
Bleed It Out.
Bleed It Out. I don't know why I couldn't think of the title. And I did In the End way back when it was new, although I was like 2 months into singing, so you can imagine how good that was. I mean, it's always been there. So
yeah.
Who's to say, hell, Emptiness Machine might make its way in the set. I've never been one to shy away from like female vocals.
Yeah.
I can find most of them in my range. So who knows? We'll see how it goes.
That was the one thing I was very impressed with Emptiness Machine, is how well it worked with Emily's vocals.
Right.
Because the song itself is through and through a Linkin Park song.
Oh yeah.
The melody that Emily's singing,
the song structure alone is just the way it comes across. It's broken down is just 100% their writing.
Oh yeah. And the first time I sat down and listened to it, I was, curious as to be like, okay, this is the first Linkin Park song we've gotten in what, 10 years?
10 years.
And I didn't know how it was going to be. I didn't know, not that I had.
Nobody did.
Yeah. It was not that I had any doubt in it or in them, in their musical ability, but I was very curious to be like, okay, this is the new Linkin Park. So I tried going in with that like open mind of, this is new. This is what we're going to be hearing now. So we got to kind of see what lies in store for us. as Linkin Park fans.
Well, and that's what we're gonna have to do. Well, time will tell. I mean, not just waiting the month and a half or so from when we're recording this to the album comes out, but the future of what holds for her. So we'll see.
Did they give a release date of the new album?
November 15th, I believe.
November 15th?
I believe that's the date.
That'll be very exciting to hear the rest of the album.
Agreed.
But speaking, changing gears here, not just talking
We
about
don't change gears.
Speaking of new releases,
We weren't going to get through this without talking about Beartooth.
Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah.
We can't not talk about Beartooth new material.
Right.
And so we got new material.
We did.
And funny enough, if I remember correctly, I had even mentioned that to you recently.
A week before they dropped the announcement that maybe next year we'd get a deluxe album from the Surface. And then literally not even a week later, we got a deluxe album from Surface.
Yeah. And
so good on you for having being a precog or something. And
I could feel it. I could feel it in my Beartoothness.
Yeah, right. Feel it in my teeth.
I feel it in my teeth.
So, well, let's talk about Attention.
Yeah. Oh, dude. So I was interested in they released that like teaser video of Caleb just walking up to that keyboard.
Right.
And I was like, okay, we're getting something different that isn't very normal with Beartooth and getting synthy stuff. And like you and I know Caleb's history with his synth and keyboard stuff as he was the keyboard player in Attack Attack. And I was thinking, well, maybe we're getting, some Attack Attack style stuff. And this was very different from that.
Very much so.
Like, it threw me for a loop when that song kicked in. And I don't even know where to start with it. The lyric choices were so good. And just him basically talking about all the changes he's made and all the things that he's done to get to the point in his life that he's at.
Right. Jameson.
Am I being attacked?
Knock him down. Don't let him up on your arm like that.
There we go. But his lyric choices were super cool in this song. Not to say that anything else that he sings about in any other song isn't, but I feel like this is one thing we don't hear about or we haven't heard about much in his songs, are like the choices that he's made to make changes in his life. He's sang about the issues that he's gone through.
And he's spoken about them, in interviews and stuff, but not in lyrics.
Yeah. And then him saying like, I put new chords in my songs and, even fell in love and this and that. Like he's changed, like he's shown his lyrical changes and his physical changes in life.
Right.
Which I feel like was awesome.
Well, I mean, he's been telling this complete story. It almost makes me feel like, because this was also, as we found out, his last song he had to do to fulfill his contract with Red Bull Records.
Oh wait, what was
you
this?
Did not know that?
No, I didn't know this.
That he had to produce one more new song for Red Bull Records, and his contract's up.
Really?
That was him putting a cap on it and having some fun with it. That came directly from his wife. When people were like, what's this pop song he wrote?
Yeah.
Their contract with Red Bull apparently is up.
Okay.
Which I find crazy because I'm not even sure there's any other artists on Red Bull Records. Like Beartooth's been just So maybe Caleb's doing his own thing. I don't know. Nothing's been said since, but I wonder if. Well, I have two things I'm thinking about here. Is this he's closing a chapter on like this 10-year journey of his self-help and figuring himself out. Does that mean we're not going to get, like, he seems like the kind of guy we're like, well, Beartooth's done now. I don't have anything to say.
God, I hope not.
Not that he wouldn't make more music, but I'm somewhat concerned that he's got to reinvent what they are, and maybe that's not going to work.
Right.
I don't know. We'll see. I could be way out of line. It's going to be another 2 years. I don't know. He writes pretty fast, but it could be a while till we hear anything else.
And I mean, we've talked about that before too, that it's been since what, 2015, 2016, the Disgusting came out.
Longer than that.
Is it longer?
Beartooth's been, he's said this album would make 10 years of Beartooth.
So
So
2014.
it had to be 2014.
So since just about since 2014, every year he's at least released something,
Right.
whether it be a single, an album, a deluxe edition, or something.
He strikes me as the kind of guy with his personality that he shows that he'll need to continue doing that.
Yeah,
But he could also be the guy like, I'm taking a year off from this. I need a break.
right. And I
But
could
I
see
know
that
most
too.
creatives wouldn't be able to sit a year without doing something.
Right.
That just doesn't, guys like that doesn't sit well with.
Yeah. And knowing knowing his dedication to music.
Right. Right. I think we're probably going to be okay.
Oh yeah.
But
It's just us as concerned fans where we don't want to see it end.
right.
Video for Attention was phenomenal. I liked the whole subway thing, which I thought was really cool. And then did you see the recent thing they shared that Attention was named like Song of the Month or something for ESPN?
Oh, I did see that. Yep.
So I thought that was cool to see them in almost more of a like mainstream spotlight for that song, or just in general. Because no, they've been spotlighted in a couple mainstream sporting events. Like I
Right.
know
Doubt Me was on one of the playoffs. Yeah, might have been the NFL. Maybe.
Okay.
Like I forget.
I
Or
know
hockey. It was hockey, maybe.
Riptide was used in WWE. They
Yeah, I'm
used it
pretty
for
sure Doubt Me was in the NHL playoffs. I think.
okay. That was very cool to see them in that like mainstream spotlight and kind of getting what you and I feel would deem as deserved recognition.
Right. Oh yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they are just phenomenal.
We see them in a lens that we think they're bigger than they are too. They're a
Yes.
huge band. They're selling out arenas, and they're playing arena tours all but now. Their club days are probably gone.
Yeah.
But they're also not everybody knows who they are.
Right.
It's a weird thing. But that was nice to get that out, and I did enjoy the remixes, the different versions of the songs.
Yeah, I was very intrigued by those because, like, when we got the deluxe edition of, what do you call of Below?
Right.
We got new songs, and we got the what did what did he call it? The alternate universe
mix of Skin.
Yeah. So I knew we were gonna get a different version of one of the songs. However, I didn't know we were gonna get what 3, and
a couple live cuts too.
Live cuts, yeah. But these new versions of the ambient mix and the other one, there was the ambient mix and there was something else.
Yeah, I can't remember now.
But they were super cool. I have a playlist that I had made of like either acoustic or chill BEARTOOTH tunes, like the low gain mix.
There's a low gain mix, yeah.
Yeah, so like the low gain mix of the lines. That version of Skin is in there. Basically anything that we had talked about wanting to do.
Where you think you're going there, little dude?
Yeah, where are you going?
Why are you interrupting our recording so much tonight? Chill out.
Like all the things that you and I had talked about doing live or doing like acoustically, I have a whole playlist of that, and I was like, this is awesome. There's more stuff I can add to that playlist, because there's times where I want to listen to BEARTOOTH, but maybe just tame it back a little bit. Like I don't need all the screaming,
Run
right?
it back, dude.
Yeah, run it back. But no, I was very happy with the things that we got off of the deluxe album.
Me too. Tap on an album that we talked in a previous episode about very much. We both really enjoy, as we do, but
yeah,
we're both in the camp of being on board with the changes they made in their sound too. I like progression and evolution, and that's what they did.
There's times where I've heard it in bands that I haven't been like super into it.
Right.
But this was one that I was able to get behind 110% and love every second of it. Like every song that they released off that new album, phenomenal. I remember not being a huge fan right off the bat, like because I recently went back and listened to our review of it. Not that I listened to my own show, but
hey man, somebody's got to get those numbers
up. But just to hear it and kind of see if my thoughts on things had changed, and very much so has my thoughts on a lot of those songs changed, because I remember not being huge into My New Reality and Live, but now I Was Live is one of my favorite tunes now off that.
I Was Alive might be one of my favorite tunes of theirs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I found I don't know, I found some connection with that song that I didn't expect to. I mean, Sunshine's still my jam,
Oh, absolutely.
um, I definitely find that song just, I don't know, it hits in a different way anymore.
Uh, and I'm the same way with that album. Like, I remember saying off of the episode, one of the first tracks that really stuck to me was "What's Killing You,"
Mhm.
and I just went back and listened to that today, and I was like, "Damn, this song is awesome."
I think Surface. I mean, we're not reviewing that album again.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it holds up, and you always good music makes you reevaluate it every time you listen to it.
Yeah.
The longer you listen to something, the more you hear something you like or something different or something about a song you didn't like before you like now. I mean, it makes sense, but
Yeah.
and maybe that's what we'll get with Linkin Park.
Yeah. That's a good point. Again, like, not really sure where I stand with it. There's a song that I like, a song I'm not crazy over, but who knows?
Let's
They
see where the
could,
album goes.
yeah, we could see where this goes, and for all we know, this could be some of the best stuff that Linkin Park comes out with. And that's wishful. That's an educated wish right there.
Yeah, educated wish. Keeps coming back to that.
There he goes.
So we have some stuff coming down the pike here that I'm not quite ready to reveal to the world. So I'm sure this podcast will air before we make any announcements. So we're going to be as cryptic as possible, but we have some changes coming up in some of our musical endeavors.
We do.
And I'm a little excited about the one part we seem to have locked down.
Yeah.
But I'm also bummed out why that has to happen. But
Yeah.
again, we'll probably have a whole episode. We'll talk about this. So that's definitely coming up for us.
Hey, who knows? Maybe we'll have some guests.
Yeah, we may have to have at least a guest or two. Um, and that's it. That's how this thing rolls. I hate being cryptic like that, but I have to. It's like an elephant in the room for us that there's no one else in the room that cares.
Right.
But I do want to point out, as this will air, and I'll make an announcement. I've been really buried in work. Oh no, day job talk. Old man's talking. But I've been trying keeping up with music and doing all the stuff we're doing. But I in the last 2 weeks I have been trying to get our Ghostlight Radio Show website up and running.
Yes.
It was just a placeholder website. That was not anything the guys were into. And I know websites aren't a huge thing anymore, but I felt like we needed one as much as we play.
Oh, yeah.
I was able to, and I sent you, as of this recording last night, I was able to, I think, finish it up.
Yeah.
I sent it out to you and the guys just to get a look. I haven't put it out, but as this airs, there'll already be an announcement. So if you go to ghostlightradioshow.pa.com and check out the website and, shoot us a message. Tell us what you think. As far as websites go anymore, it's a little more. It was nice to get back to that. I used to do that years ago for bands because you really had to have a website. Socials weren't as big.
Right.
And hopefully I get the stuff straightened out. We own ghostlightradioshow.com.
Yes.
We do own that website name, but it was just a placeholder name they took. And I'm in the midst of trying to get that to direct people to the website. But for now, ghostlightradioshow.pa.com will get you there. I'm shortly following after. It's in construction now. After having a booking agency for 20 some years, nearly 20 years, I guess, I finally started the denmothermusic.com. It's a single web page right now. It's going to have links to all the bands that not only we deal with, but that I'm a part of. I hope to put some other people I know that make their own music on a link on there as well.
Who are you looking? Who are you
It'll
looking?
just be a place where I can consolidate the things that I, still have a piece of when it comes to the booking stuff.
Right.
And that's going to become more used and more apparent with Ghostlight. I'm going to be taking over the majority of the bookings going into the next year. So that will become a bigger face. So that's coming up. But the one big thing, I think the biggest thing that's happened since our last recording that we didn't talk about yet is, and I don't think you haven't told anybody. So I think this might be, as this will air probably before you really bring it out, maybe.
Yeah.
This might be the grand reveal here, but I'll let you go first because I've already had an announcement about this. It's public.
You have, and I have yet to even really like you said, openly say anything about it. But you and I have both now become official artists of Breedlove Guitars.
Correct. We are in the artist program, I believe they call it.
Yes.
What does that entail, everyone? Well, they're not sending us free guitars or putting us out on tour on their dime. What they do recognize is that we are, for the most part, even with day jobs, we're working musicians.
Yep.
In your case, more original than I am, and that we use their products. I've been using that Breedlove guitar. I've had that. That was my first upgraded acoustic that I've had for over 10 years now. And it's my number one acoustic. It's now become my number one guitar in Ghostlight. Since you joined the band, I went back to playing the acoustic for the dynamic of it.
Right.
And you reach out to people, you just let them know what your story is and if you're interested. And I was actually completely shocked that they got back to me and said, yeah, you'd be a perfect fit. I'm like, are you sure?
Yeah.
Did you go watch me play? Because I'm a singer who plays rhythm guitar, and that's probably all I'll ever get because I don't have time to develop anything else. But I was very happy with that. And what that does, it allows us to be able to use their name as a brand and a company. And we're technically brand ambassadors at that point.
Yeah.
Like it's our job not to badmouth them or make a fool of them, which we would not do.
I could never say a bad thing about Breedlove Guitars.
And we now also, there's perks that come with being an artist,
repairs, and such.
Discounts on models when we want them. They do at times gift guitars to people, but I don't think we're not, Jeff Bridges. But it's just a cool thing. So, I mean, if anybody is not familiar with them, and I talk to people, I've never even heard of that kind of guitar. Well, there are some people who just don't know their brand, their model. They're based out of Oregon. So USA made. These are great guitars. Even mine is, a $500 model, which to some people might sound that's a lot of money. It's actually kind of a middle lower end model. It at the time, I don't know what it would be today when I bought it. And I love that thing. I almost feel like, although I will plan on upgrading at some point, like, is it going to sound the same to me?
Right.
But I think that, if anybody's interested in who they are and their whole story, breedlovemusic.com has, not just their storefront, but all their information, or just come see me or Jake play our instruments anytime. It's a really cool thing to, after all these years, be able to say that.
Yeah.
As a singer for most of my career, well, 2/3 of my career, just a singer.
Yeah.
You don't get endorsements from Shure or Sennheiser. Like, nobody's giving you microphone endorsements or in-ear endorsements at our level. They don't do that.
Right.
But the fact that I was able to be accepted into a program that's for guitar players, first of all, seems really ridiculous and almost disrespectful to some people, but I think so, or they wouldn't let me. And is exactly what I told you after the fact. You just got to contact them through their artist relations program and have a conversation with them, see what happens. And
that's exactly, once you told me that, and I was like, well, I love my Breedlove. That's been my number one acoustic, because for a while I was playing that Ibanez acoustic.
Right.
Switched over to my D'Angelico.
Right.
And after having a couple of issues with it, tone wise, and just issues through the whole thing, and how many gigs you've been telling me, just get a Breedlove, get a Breedlove.
Wrong. I know I'm a bit pushy about gear sometimes for a guy who's not necessarily a gearhead, but I know what works for me, and what I've heard other people. The only other person I know for sure that plays a Breedlove on a regular basis is Dave Gates.
Oh yeah.
And same thing. He's got a $300 Breedlove that he has a nice Takamine he plays. I think it's a 70s model he got. He has a whole story about it, but he still has that Breedlove with him at every show.
Yeah.
Like, it means something.
Yeah. And once I got my, I had sold my D'Angelico and used that money to put towards my Breedlove.
In hindsight, you probably could have just bought it one outright for the discount they give us, but
probably.
I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about that. Sorry, Breedlove. It's just, I was astounded by the the generosity of the artist program when it comes to getting new guitars.
Yeah.
So.
Once I, placed my Z Sounds or Zounds or whatever order for my Breedlove, which I'm finally paying it off next month.
Yay! Hey, sometimes that's the beauty of musicians. There's many a site that's just like, hey, buy $30,000 worth of stuff you want. You just got to make payments.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
that's exactly what I did.
they know that musicians sometimes struggle and need gear, so that's
And
nice.
I did do some, deep diving into which Breedlove would work best for me for what I needed, and I wound up, biting a bullet and getting a higher end one. I think mine was $1,000, but it definitely shows.
That would have been a $400 guitar on the artist. Anyway, no, I don't know what the exact prices are,
but it shows. And I say that because there's been many a times, as a former Guitar Center employee, playing, the $2,000, $3,500 Gibson acoustics, and I'd sit there and play them and be like, these things to me play and sound like shit sometimes.
it isn't always about the money. It's the
Yeah.
construction. It's the feel of the wood. It's the
Excuse me?
Hey, it's and I know people say that tones don't matter. I mean, I just sent you that joke about the pallet guitar.
Oh yeah.
But I do believe with acoustics, it's not that tones matter, but they do significantly change the body and the tone.
Oh my God,
and
yeah.
the sound of an acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
Electric guitars, I think that's a different argument, but it the quality of it shows. When I bought mine, about an hour just in the acoustic room at Guitar Center, picking up stuff, Martins and Taylors in that range. I looked at a Seagull.
Seagulls are cool.
My old guitar player and roommate at the time, Brady. What up to Brady Fantazi? It's like, you should check out Breedlove, man. I've been looking at one of them myself. I'm like, I don't even know what that is, but sure. And I went for a while. I was plugging them into the practice amps there, back and forth. And that one just sounded better plugged in and acoustically than any of those other, especially the Taylor. The Taylor was too bright, which I kind of find later on is a common out. They're known for that.
Yeah.
The Martin was nice and I was only shopping because at the time my guitar player and friend BJ had went from his Ibanez, big Ibanez guy. He was a metal guy.
Oh yeah.
He loved his Ibanez acoustics, but he finally bought a Martin. He's like, this thing. And once we started playing out and I was playing my ESP, I'm like, this guitar sounds plastic compared to his. It wasn't so bad and I wasn't playing great then either.
Right.
But next to his Ibanez, it wasn't awful. But next to that Martin, it was like a child's first guitar.
Right.
Like, I have to get something better. And it led me to Breedlove just from testing them and listening to it, playing it live, and I have never gone back.
Yeah.
I pulled that ESP out.
Oh God, yeah.
At our gig because I was having trouble with my staying in tune, which I believe was a tuner issue. That's why I replaced them. But my fingers hurt, like just everything about it. I like this, and now it sits over here in the room. It'll stay there as an acoustic for me to grab and do it with. Same with the Godin. I love that Godin. I love that hybrid guitar. There's no reason I'll ever play it again.
Yeah.
Now that I'm playing my Breedlove at our shows, and which of course I do in acoustic gigs too, and I do and Nailed It if we play as a full band. I don't. At very least, I need another Breedlove. I don't need.
Yeah.
So,
and that was one thing I was explaining to like the people at Breedlove when I was talking to them, is that like I still have my Ibanez acoustic. That was a gift to me from my dad, and like that's a guitar I'll never get rid of. However, that's one that I don't normally play all that often because I have my Breedlove.
Right.
And how you were saying about guitar sounding plasticky, that has a little bit of that in comparison to my Breedlove, but it still sounds good. It still holds its own.
Of the tops. I know now from knowing about the wood.
Yeah.
Talking to Rich, our good friend at Twin Dicks Guitar.
Shout out to Rich Campbell.
The cheaper made they are because they use veneer tops. They just don't have the same resonance when it comes to an acoustic. And
that's how my Hummingbird was. I used to have an Ep10 Hummingbird.
Right.
And this thing, at first, this is before I really like knew a whole lot about, tone and the wood in it and all that stuff. I had this thing, and at first I thought it sounded great. After playing, I think I played maybe a dozen shows with it. I was like, this thing sounds like a toy, and took it to Guitar Center, and I had traded it in and got the D'Angelico, the red one that I had for the longest time.
Right.
And then finally, the rest is history. Now I'm a Breedlove player.
And I will say I like that they, part of the artist contract, they do say they don't expect anyone to only play their guitars. They understand that everybody has different
Needs
uses
and uses, yeah.
yeah, I thought that was nice. I'm sure that's somewhat the way with a lot of other companies. Unless you're at a certain level of performing, you know what I mean? The guys in Shinedown, if they're playing their PRSs, they're playing their PRSs.
Right.
They're not going to like, well, for this song, I'm going to get out my Charvel.
Yeah.
Like, that's just not how it works at that level. But they're also given guitars and have signature models.
Yeah.
And, I like the fact that if I want to go out and play, I have that old Epiphone that I bought, or that Ibanez that I bought from my neighbor.
Oh, yeah.
The little thing sounds great, 40-year-old guitar. If I want to play that at a gig, no one from Breedlove is going to be like, well, we saw a picture of you without our guitar.
Right.
I love the understanding. Everything about the company is just
they're just super chill people, and it's great. They're
right.
like, they understand. They understand from the musician's point of view, not just the business side of things.
Right. And it's I don't know if you noticed, the actual company that owns it was, I believe it's Two Old Hippie Guitars.
Oh, really?
If you look, it's TOH Guitars it's on the contracts we signed.
Huh.
They're the parent company of Breedlove. It's Two Old Hippies, which makes sense. Some guys out there in Oregon.
That's awesome.
There's probably some stuff growing in the woods out there,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? And it's pretty nice that that's the kind of stuff it comes from.
Yeah.
I think that's why I like PRSs like I do. I like their story.
Mm-hmm.
I like that Paul left and said, I'm going to make my own. You would like one if you found the right one to play. You just don't have the money to play the right one.
And just, I don't know. I've played so many PRSs, and I think I can count on one hand how many I actually liked.
I'll tell you one I'll bet if you picked up and played you'd like, but I wouldn't, is the John Mayer model. The
Strat looking one.
Strat model.
I thought you were going to say the Mark Tremonti ones.
No, the Tremonti ones that's what like every guy who likes new metal
or a gigantic Creed fan.
Well, that's true. Tremonti had a nice baritone model for a long time. Anyway, that's when I was first getting the guitars. I'm like, well, that's the one I have to have. That silver one that him and Ben Burnley both play. To find out they're like $300 guitars are not even that impressive. Always teach your own. The Breedlove's the same way. You and I both found through different ways. I'm a pusher, so you found out about Breedlove. Not that you didn't know what they were, but
it also makes me laugh how similar our gear is becoming.
Right. Well,
Breedlove's through MX5s.
Yep.
Or no, now you have.
Well, now I have the core that I don't use to its potential anyway, and it's heavy. God, that pedal board's heavy. But when you stuff a giant pedal board and a tuner and a wireless mic and cables, and I just make it attach a industrial mic clamp, beef my arms up. So the older I get, the better shape I'm in. Yeah, someday. So I wish Headrush had an artist program, but they don't.
Oh.
They do. They have like touring musicians that use their gear.
Like I know
they're not
Nita Strauss is one.
Yeah, they're not going to be like, yeah, guys, here's a t-shirt. Hey, Headrush, if you're listening, I like t-shirts.
And hats.
I love hats. I don't know if you noticed. If you ever look at any promotional material, I like hats. Yeah, I mean, it'd be nice to, I reached out to other companies as well. I love Ernie Ball's acoustic strings, the Earthwood strings.
Yeah.
Ernie Ball's a big company. I don't think, little Lancaster County based band guy, is going to be on their roster. But
say, hey, Ernie Ball, let me get a couple packs of them 11s.
Yeah. Well, I think that's probably the most exciting musical thing that's happened to me in a long time.
Yeah.
I've been pretty subdued about it, but because I'm a very, okay, this sounds like the wrong way to say, I'm very humble about it. Calling myself humble is not humble.
Right.
But like when people bring it up or someone saw that I posted about it, I'm like, yeah, I still kind of can't believe it. Like,
right.
I really appreciate it, but I never in a million years thought I would get a yes from a guitar company.
Like I'm in the same boat. Like there was a time that I was in or endorsed, and I do, air quote, endorsed by a local guitar company. And at the time, I didn't know any better. I
Right.
was just like, oh, sweet, there's this guitar company that's endorsing me. And I would play their guitars, uh, play them out and during shows and stuff. I was doing it while I was in Transylvania. And the guitars that they were giving me at the time to play out, they fit that look. But knowing now,
They were not quality material.
absolutely not.
No, I believe at some point you and I have talked about this.
Oh yeah,
How maybe even on the episode, who knows? But uh, yeah, you grow, you learn.
yeah,
We're all young. We were all young once.
yeah.
You're still young, actually, but that's a separate conversation.
It was brought up to me like it when I realized where I was at with like where their quality of work was at was when I was in a quote unquote recording session. Transylvania was doing re-records for our album we were doing, and I went back to the studio we were recording in and was recording stuff, and he was the guy that was recording us was looking at the guitar, and he's like, these are all just parts that you can buy from like a kit website. And all the what was it, Guitar Fetish or whatever it's called. He's like, these are all just Guitar Fetish parts that you can buy. They're not,
With nothing custom about
yeah,
it.
they're not like high quality. You can buy. He was like, you can buy that bridge for like $15. You can buy those tuners for 30. And then I realized like, okay, and then I realized like the company that I was working with was kind of like stiffing people for quality,
Right.
what they were claiming to be, $1,000 guitars. I could have bought a kit for, $80 off of Amazon and built the exact same thing. But now I have my Ibanez Iceman, my Breedlove acoustic, and I'm very content with it. And my twin dicks.
You have your twin dicks. You got a Gretsch that you keep threatening to bring out, which I think would be cool at our shows.
My
Much cooler than that Iceman.
Listen,
Iceman.
it's so cool. You can't deny it. It's a cool guitar.
Well, first of all, don't tell me what to do. Second of all, I can deny it. I don't find anything aesthetically pleasing about that, but I absolutely get why you do. Like, that's definitely a guitar for you.
Or no, how did you word it at the Fiorentino's gig? I looked like or every guitarist in a modern country band or something like that.
Yep, pretty much. Yep.
There
You look like every lead guitar player in a drop D country band. A guy who failed in a drop D rock band was like, I can go play leads in a country band.
Rocking
using the same gear.
Rocking the Iceman.
Sir, are you going to play some sort of country style guitar? No.
Where's your Telecaster? Don't need one.
Yep. So
check out this Jackson.
Hey man, you like what you like. Sometimes that's what it comes down to. It's not about the greatest guitar, the most expensive guitar. Sometimes it's about how it feels when you play it.
Exactly.
So. Well, you got anything else for the week?
Coming up, I don't. Oh, the month.
Well, I mean, it'll be a month till we record again.
This is true.
Although I have some suggestions for us later on. We'll talk off air. I don't want to give anybody ideas that we don't follow through on. So, but I mean, I'm not going to tout a bunch of our shows because who knows? Every time I say that, we don't release this in time. But we do have a bunch of Ghost Light coming up. We got a show coming at Moon Dancer Winery and McCleary's and Halloween gig. Oh, that's
Victory
November at the Victory Athletic Association. We've got a couple Legions coming up. We got shows. You and I both have other gigs.
Yep,
I'll be Fell from Zero and Les Dexia. We both have solo gigs this month.
Yep, I'm pretty excited about
the Spooky Fest.
Fest.
I think my last show for the year at Riverside.
Okay,
is in a couple weeks. So we're recording tonight because my show at the Falls Hotel got canceled because they apparently have to dig their entire well up from a water break.
Oh, that sucks.
So who knows when they'll be open again. But it afforded us the opportunity to come and recording. So
yeah.
I do want to say before we're done, in a couple of days I got to go to a funeral service, a life gathering for my friend Bill Schweitzer that passed away a few weeks ago. He's too young to have a heart attack and not be here anymore. He was the bass player in my very first locally successful band, Instant Transmission. He was always the bass player in that band. As time goes, he was not the original bass player, but The original bass player didn't stick with us till we got really out. Billy was our guy. He was just in our group of local scene people 20 years ago. Billy was, the dude. He was around. He was the older guy at the time. He was 29. We were all 25 and younger, and he was the old man.
Yeah.
But we were another band called Short Bus Graduates, which wasn't a joke on our instant transmission school bus that we owned, that we rolled around in, and the idea was that we moved on to another band, and we graduated. And he was off and on some other projects over the years after that. We got together, did some reunion shows, but Billy we missed. Billy was a good dude, and not to bring the end of the episode down, but it's not fun to see your friends. You get to a certain age, and I'm going to sound like the old man on the recording here, but I mean, I just turned 48, and we're weirdly getting to the point where not only people around us, like even like celebrities,
Yeah.
like I'm reaching an age where I'm going to see more death than I see more life.
Right.
But 53 years old is too young.
Yeah.
The man had a lot ahead of him after having a pretty rough adult life with his ex-wife, and he seemed to be finally happy, and it's just damn shame that things happen. Point I'm saying here, and this is a little hypocritical because I'm one of those people that doesn't listen, but go to the doctor, folks. Whether you're in your 20s or your 40s, whatever. Something don't seem right, go get it checked out. You never know, and you don't want to be that guy that doesn't make it home that day. So enough of that bummer. Hate to leave it on a sad note, but I want to make sure I made a shout out to Bill.
Yeah.
Because sadly, I believe while we're at his service is also the anniversary of BJ passing.
Oh.
So it's going to be an interesting week here in the Patterson household. But things are looking up, though. We've got some real good stuff coming on the horizon. And Jake and I also have a song we're going to be working on that I'm not saying anything else about but there is a song that is going to probably be a lot bigger than we think it will be.
Oh, yeah.
At least among the people that it's written for.
Yeah.
So we might be getting a little country.
Oh, yeah.
We might be getting a little Craft Haven country on.
A little Craft Haven country.
But that's coming soon, and that might be one of those things we pop in between episodes to talk about. So,
yeah.
But unless you have anything else?
I think I'm good.
All right, man. So until next time, I'm Bob.
I'm Jake.
And we are Nailed It the Podcast. Later.
See you.
Nailed it.
That was really weird.
Hey, you know who's squeaking that chicken?